Have you ever felt like someone close to you betrayed your trust, leaving you questioning everything? Or maybe you've been surrounded by negativity, and despite all your efforts, you still can't shake the feeling that something is holding you back. What if I told you that there are specific people and environments you need to avoid to protect your peace, integrity, and future? In today's video, we're diving deep into the powerful reasons why you must recognize and steer clear of certain toxic situations. We'll explore how betrayal can reshape your life, why staying in negative environments can drain your energy, and how to protect your growth when others refuse to acknowledge your transformation. By the end, you'll not only understand which people to avoid but also gain the strength to walk away and reclaim your peace. This is a must-watch if you want to stop being held back by others and start building the life you truly deserve. Keep watching to learn how to protect your mental and emotional well-being and reclaim control of your life. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Here's the harsh, uncomfortable truth that many people would rather avoid. When someone betrays you, they are showing you exactly how little you matter to them in the grand scheme of their life. They have weighed their options, carefully thought through the consequences, and still chosen to hurt you, to betray your trust, to ruin the bond you shared. Whatever they gain from that betrayal, whether it's a boost to their social standing, financial advantage, power, or even just fleeting satisfaction, meant more to them than your trust, your emotional well-being, or your relationship. And let's not sugarcoat it. That's not a simple mistake. That's a deep, painful revelation about who they truly are. And no matter how much we wish otherwise, it's a revelation that should not be ignored. As we age, we often find ourselves caught in the trap of wanting to revisit the past, to reconnect with those who hurt us, hoping that time will have magically healed everything. We convince ourselves that maybe, just maybe, the betrayal was just a moment of weakness, not a true reflection of who they are. But here's the thing. This is where so many people go wrong. We falsely believe that time can change intentions. But time doesn't change intentions. It only reveals them more clearly. If someone has betrayed you once, what that means is that, on some fundamental level, they were willing to disregard you when it mattered most. And that disregard doesn't just disappear over time. It festers. It doesn't fade. It just sits there, waiting to resurface, even years later. So why do we do it? Why, despite knowing better, do we consider returning to those who have wronged us? The answer is complicated, but the reality is simple. When you step back into the life of someone who has betrayed you, you're not just offering them forgiveness. You're sending a message, loud and clear. What they did to you didn't matter. It was all just water under the bridge. You are saying, without words, that their actions didn't have lasting consequences. And what's worse, by going back, you're permitting them to hurt you again, to make the same choice they made before. It's as though you're saying, it's okay. You can do this to me again, and I'll still come back for more. The truly painful part? Sometimes, the people who betray us are the ones we least expect. The ones we considered family, the ones we trusted with everything. Our hearts, our lives, our deepest secrets. The betrayal comes from the people who are supposed to protect us, love us unconditionally, and stand by us no matter what. When the betrayal comes from those closest to you, it doesn't just hurt your feelings. It rips apart your entire sense of safety, trust, and love. It makes you question everything you thought you knew about human connection. It makes you question yourself. And if you're not careful, it can plant a deep seed of doubt in your mind about your judgment, your ability to trust others, and whether you'll ever truly be able to open your heart again. This is why, with every fiber of your being, you must resist the urge to revisit those painful places where your trust was shattered. The truth is, once someone has betrayed you, they've made their choice. You don't owe them anything, not even the chance to rewrite the past. You don't need to pretend it never happened. You don't need to believe that they've changed or that it wasn't that bad. The only responsibility you have is to yourself, to protect your dignity, your self-respect, and your future. And you have to fight for that, no matter how tempting it might be to seek closure or reconciliation. It's difficult, I know. Our minds are hardwired to seek closure, to believe that everything can be fixed, that people can change, and that time can heal all wounds. But here's the thing, not all wounds require reconciliation. Some wounds need distance. Some wounds need the courage to walk away, to leave them behind and never look back. Because let's face it, when you enter the space of someone who has hurt you, you're not just stepping back into a physical place. You're stepping back into a psychological battlefield. The ghosts of your past pain, your self-doubt, and their betrayal all collide in that moment. If you're not careful, you might start rationalizing, making excuses for their behavior, telling yourself that it wasn't as bad as you remember. But I need you to hear this. It was as bad as you remember. It was worse than you could ever allow yourself to admit. And if you let that go, if you let the wounds reopen, thinking that somehow it will be different this time, you risk opening a door that should have been sealed shut forever. We deserve so much more than what betrayal offers us. We deserve honesty, respect, and love from those we trust. But most of all, we deserve to protect ourselves, our hearts, our minds, and our peace of mind by never allowing ourselves to go back to the places that shattered us in the first place. True strength is not found in constantly revisiting the past or replaying the painful memories that have shaped us. True strength lies in having the wisdom to recognize which doors must remain firmly closed. If someone has betrayed you once, that's their failure, but if you allow them to betray you again, that becomes your failure. You owe it to yourself, to your peace and well-being, to never allow the same hurtful chapter to repeat in your life. It's not just about protecting your heart, it's about valuing yourself enough to walk away from those who have proven they are unworthy of your trust. And this, my friend, is the truest form of strength. Many people live in an almost constant state of misery. Their lives are dominated by a fog of negativity, resentment, and despair, and no matter how many years pass, they remain trapped in the same cycle. It's as if they are prisoners of their bitterness, perpetually looking for new reasons to complain. Every day feels like a battle with life itself, and their constant grievances become the backdrop to their existence. They resent the world, they resent fate, and most painfully, they resent the people around them. If you're not careful, if you allow yourself to become too immersed in their world, their misery will bleed into your own life, clouding your perspective and draining your spirit. It's heartbreaking, but some individuals aren't looking for solutions. They aren't seeking a way out of their sorrow or their pain. Instead, they crave validation for their suffering. It's almost as if their pain has become a part of their identity, something they wear like a badge of honor. They hold on to their disappointments and their failures, even more fiercely than they hold on to their hopes, and they constantly remind everyone around them of how unfair life has been to them. But let's be honest, life is unfair to everyone at some point. No one escapes its cruelty. The difference, however, lies in how we choose to respond. Some rise above it, refusing to let their circumstances define them, while others sink deeper into despair, as if wallowing in their misfortunes is somehow easier than finding a way to heal. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. When you step into the world of someone who thrives on misery, you are stepping into a place where negativity is the only air they breathe. The atmosphere is thick with complaints, bitter words, and the unwavering belief that life will never improve. It's a place where hope is a distant memory, and each conversation is a litany of disappointments. It's subtle, but profound, the impact these environments have on you. Human beings are deeply affected by the energy around them. We are not immune to the atmosphere we inhabit, and if we're surrounded by negativity long enough, it starts to infiltrate our thoughts, emotions, and perceptions. At first, You may enter with hope in your heart, energy in your steps, and dreams for the future that are ready to soar. But after spending even a short amount of time in the presence of such heavy negativity, you will likely leave feeling drained, discouraged, and filled with doubts about everything you once believed in. These people, often without malice, do not celebrate your success. They may even feel threatened by it. Your joy, your progress, is a stark reminder of everything they haven't achieved, of the dreams they've long since abandoned. They might say they're looking out for you, warning you about the harsh realities of life. But what they're doing is projecting their fears, insecurities, and regrets onto you. They want to pull you down to their level because they can't bear the thought of anyone moving forward when they are stuck. And if you're not careful, if you allow their words to take root in your mind, you might find yourself questioning your path, your ambitions, and your dreams. Their doubts will become your doubts, their hopelessness will seep into your heart, and before you know it, you may hesitate to chase the very dreams that once ignited a fire within you. Misery is contagious. It spreads like wildfire, weaving itself into the fabric of your thoughts, your energy, your very soul. The worst part? It's insidious. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens slowly, almost imperceptibly. You start by listening, by empathizing, by offering advice. But over time, you begin to mirror their worldview. You stop seeing solutions, only problems. You stop seeing opportunities, only obstacles. That's why you must be unyielding in your determination to protect yourself from these toxic environments. No matter how much you care about someone, no matter how deep the bond, you cannot afford to let their misery take over your mindset. You cannot allow their negativity to shape your reality. It's not your responsibility to fix someone who refuses to change. You can offer support, you can encourage them, but you cannot force them to embrace a better path. And if they continue to cling to their pain, their negativity, and their despair, you must be willing to walk away. You must be strong enough to step away, for your mental health, your peace, and your future. You deserve more than to be the emotional dumping ground for someone who refuses to change. Protect your heart, protect your energy, and above all, protect your dreams. You owe it to yourself. The harsh, unspoken truth is that some people simply do not want to be saved. They are so deeply entrenched in their misery that they prefer to wallow in it rather than take the difficult steps needed to change. It is often easier for them to complain about their circumstances than to confront the real issues, to do the painful work of self-improvement. And if you're not careful, they will drag you right into their dark, suffocating world. Not because they wish harm upon you, but because they cannot bear to suffer alone. Misery loves company, and unfortunately, they need someone to share in their pain. If you're not mindful, if you let your guard down even for a moment, you may find yourself slowly being pulled into the vortex of their negativity, feeling trapped and helpless in a cycle of endless complaining. Your mindset, your outlook on life, is everything. The way you choose to see the world is the lens through which you view all of your experiences, shaping your actions, your choices, your destiny. The moment you allow yourself to be constantly surrounded by negativity, by hopelessness, by people who do nothing but drag their heavy burdens into every conversation, you start to absorb it. Slowly, imperceptibly, you begin to become just like them. You begin to lose sight of your aspirations, your dreams, your path, all because you're drowning in their despair. It's a slippery slope, and the cost of letting their toxic energy infiltrate your life is far greater than you can imagine. You risk losing not just your peace of mind, but also your sense of self, your ability to stand strong in the face of life's challenges. As we grow older, the changes we undergo can be both liberating and difficult. We encounter experiences that stretch us, that push us to become more than we were before. We shed old skin, we break old habits, and we emerge as more complex, more self-aware individuals. But growth is not always understood by those around us. Those who have known us in our past, who have witnessed our flaws, our struggles, and our vulnerabilities, may have a hard time seeing us for who we truly are now. They are trapped in their image of the person we used to be, unable or unwilling to acknowledge the person we've become. It's painful, yet it's a reality we must confront. There will always be people who see us through the lens of our past mistakes, who are unable to let go of the person we once were. This is not a matter of malice or ill will. It's simply a reflection of their inability to accept the inevitable truth that change is not just possible but necessary. Change is hard for everyone, but it's particularly difficult for those who have built an image of you that is rooted in the past. They hold on to who you used to be because it is comfortable, it is familiar, and it is easier to keep you in that box than to embrace the complexity of your growth. It's a form of attachment to the past, and it can be suffocating. It is so incredibly draining to be around people who continually remind you of the version of yourself that no longer exists, who refuse to see the new person you've worked so hard to become. And as much as you want to share your victories, your achievements, and the progress you've made, they keep dragging you back into old stories, resurrecting past failures that no longer define you. They don't celebrate your transformation. Instead, they hold you hostage to your old mistakes, your old ways of thinking. It's as if, despite all of your growth, they still see you as the same person you were years ago, and no matter how much you've changed, it's never enough for them. It's a painful experience to constantly feel like you are being reduced to the lowest points in your life, trapped in a version of yourself that no longer holds. The longer you allow yourself to stay in this environment, the harder it becomes to break free. The more you allow others to define you by your past, the more your self-worth begins to erode. It's easy to start doubting whether you've really changed at all, or if you're just fooling yourself. And as that doubt creeps in, it becomes harder to believe in your transformation. Your identity begins to feel like something you're constantly trying to prove, to justify, rather than something you've simply lived into. You may start to slip back into the patterns and behaviors that you've outgrown, because those around you keep insisting that the person you used to be is who you are. It's a tragic irony. The more you try to move forward, the more they keep pulling you back, making it almost impossible to escape their expectations. This is why, at times, it becomes necessary to walk away. If someone refuses to acknowledge the work you've put into your growth, if they continue to hold you to a version of yourself that no longer exists, it's not just about them being blind to your transformation. It's about them disrespecting your journey. It's about them devaluing the effort, the sweat, the tears you've poured into becoming a better person. It's not just about their inability to see you clearly. It's also about their refusal to let go of their old, limiting expectations of who you should be. They want to keep you in a box because it serves their own needs, their comfort, their fear of change. But that's not your burden to carry. You have to protect yourself, your peace, your growth. The only person who can truly see the real you is you, and if they can't acknowledge the beautiful transformation you've undergone, it's time to let them go. You deserve to be surrounded by people who honor your evolution, who see you for who you are now, not who you were, but who you've become. They refuse to allow you the freedom to become the person you've worked tirelessly and relentlessly to be. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? After all the sacrifices, the sleepless nights, and the countless struggles to grow, to evolve, to improve yourself, only to have those around you try to drag you back to a version of yourself you've long since outgrown. When we find ourselves caught in the web of these individuals, it's essential to deeply understand that it's not our responsibility to convince them of the growth we've achieved. This, I believe, is one of the most profound realizations one can have. You cannot force someone to shift their perception of you, especially when their identity is so tightly woven into their image of who you used to be. It's not about constantly proving your worth to others, no matter how much they demand it. It's about honoring your journey, recognizing the struggles you've overcome, and understanding that some people will never grasp the beauty of your evolution. The most important thing, the crucial step in protecting your peace, is to guard your sense of identity. You must surround yourself with those who see you for the person you've become, not the one you left behind. You deserve to be around those who celebrate your growth, who stand beside you in awe of how far you've come, and who encourage you to keep pushing forward. These are the people who will cheer you on, without hesitation, for the strides you've made. They will understand that evolution is not a linear path, but a messy, beautiful, and often painful one. And those who truly care about you, those who truly understand your journey, will see you. They will see who you are, not the version of you that is now buried in the past. They won't pull you backward. Instead, they will help push you to continue moving forward, even when the path feels daunting and uncertain. Ultimately, growth is an intensely personal journey, and it can be so isolating at times. It's about shedding old layers of pain, confronting wounds you never thought you could face, and stepping into a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and more self-aware. But here's the catch. If you continue to surround yourself with people who are stuck in the past, people who cannot accept the fact that you've changed, you will slowly begin to lose sight of the very transformation you've worked so hard for. That's a dangerous thing to let happen. Sometimes, the hardest yet most necessary thing to do is to distance yourself from those who will never recognize the person you've become. You owe it to yourself, to the journey you've been on, to stand firm in your identity, and to be seen for who you truly are. You are not obligated to stay tethered to anyone who refuses to honor your growth. You deserve the space to flourish. Perhaps the most dangerous person you can ever allow back into your life is the one who resents your growth. This individual, someone who may have once been close to you, may have once cheered for your success, but as you began to evolve, as you started to spread your wings, something inside them shifted. The moment you began to improve yourself, to better your life, they felt threatened. Instead of joining you in your joy, they became resentful. Instead of lifting you, they dragged you down, silently but powerfully. What makes this resentment so dangerous, so insidious, is that it often doesn't show up in obvious ways. They may smile and congratulate you on the surface. They may say all the right things, but there's a subtle, almost imperceptible shift in the air. A quiet undermining of your achievements. A backhanded compliment that leaves you feeling unsure, questioning your worth. And that's when the real harm begins. Their feelings of jealousy, their fears of being left behind, their inability to accept their stagnation, get projected onto you in ways that you may not immediately see. It's a manipulation cloaked in concern. It's poison dripping slowly into the very foundation of your confidence. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. What's worse is that this resentment doesn't just stay out there. It creeps into your mind, planting seeds of doubt. You may start questioning yourself. Is this success truly mine? Did I deserve to achieve this? Have I somehow tricked myself into thinking I'm different, better even? This self-doubt doesn't come from within you. It's the residue of their toxic energy. You start wondering if you've fooled yourself, and that is the dangerous power of resentment. It can not only sabotage the relationship but also sabotage you. It can twist the very narrative of your life, making you doubt your worth and your right to thrive. We cannot afford to let these toxic people back into our lives, not when they continue to hold us hostage in their resentment. We have worked too hard. We have endured too much. And we deserve better. Letting go of them, as painful as it may seem, is an act of self-preservation. It is a gift to yourself, the gift of peace, clarity, and most of all, the freedom to continue becoming the person you were always meant to be. They will downplay your victories, dismiss your ambitions, and challenge your decisions. Not because they have any true, rational reason to, but because seeing you succeed forces them to confront the uncomfortable truth of their failures, their deep-rooted fears, and their unwavering refusal to move forward. It's as if your success shines a painful spotlight on the gaps in their own lives, a reminder of everything they wish they could have achieved but didn't. The most gut-wrenching part of all of this is that they might not even be fully aware of the damage they're causing. It's almost like they're living in a self-made fog, oblivious to how their jealousy, resentment, and insecurity seep into your life. Their resentment, though born from their internal struggles and buried disappointments, can have a profoundly negative impact on you. If you're not careful, the poison they inject into your thoughts and feelings can cloud your judgment, causing you to question your worth. Slowly, you might begin doubting whether your success is something to celebrate or if it's somehow a reflection of your disregard for their suffering. You may find yourself wondering if your victories are just selfish displays of triumph, or worse, if they somehow make you the villain in their story. This emotional manipulation is often so insidious that it becomes nearly impossible to pinpoint exactly when it starts to take root. In the beginning, it may appear as if they're simply offering you well-meaning advice, like a concerned friend or family member looking out for your best interests. But as time goes on, you begin to notice that the advice, no matter how well packaged, is always drenched in skepticism, caution, and fear. They might subtly tell you that you're being too ambitious, that you're reaching too far beyond your grasp, that the world is too harsh, or that you should just settle for what you have rather than striving for something more. It's as if they want to box you into the same stifling, suffocating space they've created for themselves. What makes this behavior particularly harmful is that it's an attack on your very sense of self-worth. They manipulate your emotions, making you feel guilty for succeeding, for wanting more, for daring to dream big. They try to convince you that there's something inherently wrong with seeking to better yourself, with growing beyond the limitations that they've put on their own lives. This creates a whirlwind of confusion and hesitation within you, particularly if you have a deep emotional attachment to these individuals. You may feel torn between loyalty to them and your desire to forge ahead on your path. It's a painful tug-of-war between your dreams and the desire to keep the peace, to not rock the boat, to not cause any more strain in an already complicated relationship. But the truth, no matter how difficult it may be to accept, is that you cannot let their resentment, their fears, their insecurities, or their unwillingness to grow dictate your future. You cannot allow their unresolved issues to shape your life or stunt your growth. Your success, your progress, your dreams. These are yours to cherish, to hold on to with pride, and to use as the foundation for even greater things. It's not about seeking their approval or waiting for them to come around. It's about standing tall in your truth and honoring the journey you're on. And in the end, it's about not letting anyone's negativity, no matter how close they are to you, steal the joy of the victories that are rightfully yours to claim. Your growth, your happiness, and your success are yours to build upon, so let no one's resentful heart stop you from soaring higher. As we wrap up, take a moment to reflect on everything we've discussed today. What have you learned so far about handling resentment and staying true to your path, despite the negativity of others? Is there one powerful lesson that stood out to you? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please comment below and share one thing you've learned that you plan to bring into your own life moving forward. If you found this video helpful, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support means so much, and it helps us continue bringing valuable content like this to help you grow and thrive. Thank you for being part of this journey.